Alibaba finally broke above a major long-term bearish trend line. In today's analysis, I will take a look at Alibaba looking at a higher time frame, showing you how you can capitalize on an exponential trading opportunity. If we take a look right here at the monthly chart of Alibaba, and first of all, we determine the overall trend, you can see that back in 2015, Alibaba created a major bottom and from here entered into a quite bullish market. For a couple of years in a row, Alibaba has actually been creating higher highs and higher lows until we saw the creation of the all-time high, which was back in 2020. Now, to be very clear, this all-time high was not unexpected at all. Why? Because if we look at market structure, Alibaba was actually trading in a so-called rising wedge formation, which is always considered a bearish pattern. Once Alibaba actually broke below this lower support trend line, which as you can see was roughly in May of 2021, and also created bearish confirmation on the smaller time frames, it was quite clear that we will see a significant drop towards the downside, and Alibaba dropped another minus 75% after breaking out of this rising wedge pattern. Then a couple of months ago, Alibaba finally once again came back to retest the major previous horizontal support, which is roughly at this psychological $60 level. As I mentioned, in 2015, Alibaba retested this level and took off significantly, and Alibaba again retested this level in October of 2022, created bullish confirmation on the smaller time frames on inside of this level, and already once again started the overall rejection towards the upside. As I mentioned in the beginning, Alibaba also, with today's massive move towards the upside, finally broke above a major long-term bearish trend line. Now, specifically, the trend line which I'm talking about is this trend line which is drawn in red right here. I'm simply connecting all of the previous significant highs, and you can see basically always when Alibaba came back to retest this trend line, it was followed by a rejection towards the downside. Just 4 months ago, Alibaba once again retested this resistance trend line, and as you can see, we saw a major rejection week towards the downside. This week alone was a move of roughly minus 13%, and furthermore, Alibaba was also rejecting this horizontal structure at this psychological $80 level. Now, with today's move towards the upside of roughly 7%, and with this monthly candle, Alibaba is up roughly 16%, as you can see all the way up here, and Alibaba is breaking all of this previous resistance towards the upside. Now, a simple concept when it comes to trading technical analysis and technicals in general is that previous resistance after a break towards the upside is turned support, meaning that this horizontal structure and also the bearish trend line are now acting as a confluence of support. Therefore, if you are not in a trade yet, and let me be clear, I published so many video analysis when Alibaba was down here, and hovering around this $70 level, explaining all the reasons for which I do expect a bullish breakout. But if you are still not in a trade on Alibaba yet, you can certainly wait for a retest of this previous resistance, which, as I just mentioned, after the break towards the upside is now turned extremely strong support. And if Alibaba then and only then creates bullish confirmation on the smaller time frames inside of this level, you can then go ahead, enter a long position, and try to capitalize the continuation towards the upside. The next clear resistance towards the upside is at this $115 level. You can see this was major previous resistance in the past, which would still be acting as resistance once again, but then Alibaba has the potential of a 40% move towards the upside, and you do get a very decent risk to reward ratio. If you enjoyed today's breakdown of Alibaba, as always, I really appreciate if you smash that like button below, especially if you are trading charts like this and you're trading the higher time frames. It's extremely important that you do not get caught up in the short-term moves. I will see you tomorrow with a fresh breakdown. In the end, it's just always important that you remember to keep your long-term vision.